Thank you, and welcome back to the Tom Heneghan Stu Webb Intel Hour.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are we allowed to talk about certain things that have come to our attention this past week in the way of dirty bombs? Yea or nay?
I think we should keep that a little bit off the books right now, because we do have a team that is actively dismantling them as we speak.
Yes, I understand. Okay.
Not the U.S. government. There are patriotic military people involved in this, along with our. Well, I don't want to get into it because this is getting very serious right now. This problem that's developing between Obama and the president of France, Nicolas Sarkozy. Let me just touch on that real quickly. What I can talk about is that European Interpol has issued a new warrant for the arrest of Mark Rich. They did that about 3 weeks ago. This involves Rich's activities in UBS Bank in Switzerland, massive criminal money laundering involving alleged Al-Qaeda, the mercenary group Blackwater, a massive he's basically been a bag man for this arms laundering through the Middle East, through Afghanistan, through Iraq, and he's been again. And a lot of these profits have been then laundered back through the United States, the Commerce Bank in Texas, and into the hands of the Bush Clinton crime family syndicate and its enablers. Obama himself has received a massive bribe. Two of them from Daddy Bush. One the day of the inauguration, the second about a week and a half ago. They're trying to somehow retrieve, well, I don't want to get into that. I can't say that over there. But let me tell you this, folks. Mark Rich is about to be arrested. When Mark Rich has left Switzerland, he's been gone for about a week. The last report we had on him, he was trying to escape arrest by the French somewhere in the Pyrenees Mountains. This is between France and Spain. Now, interestingly, by no coincidence, Mark Rich is also, well, let me also say Mark Rich has been named now in a new case here in the United States, not subject to the pardon that was given to him by former President Clinton. This involves the Bear Stearns fiasco that you might be familiar with, when their stock dropped from $62 to $3 in less than 2 weeks, and then bought up by J.P. Morgan, a.k.a. the Queen of England's bank. We're talking counterfeit stock. We're talking negative short selling, criminal fraud at the highest level implicating the former head of the SEC, Christopher Cox, who was, of course, appointed by the former illegal occupant of the White House, George W. Bush fraud.
Homosexual in the closet, nation wrecking, AWOL punk.
I think punk is a good word to describe him. But he's crazy. He's nuts, just like all these people. Henry Paulson, the former U.S. Treasury Secretary. Current U.S. Secretary for Barack Obama, Timothy Geithner. And these people basically looted, bankrupted Bear Stearns for the purpose of then backdooring the money laundering using the New York Federal Reserve Bank, with the counterfeiting of the stocks taking place at none other than Bernard Madoff's, the Ponzi scheme artist, one of his offices in London, England. That's the dots being connected for you, folks. So Mark Rich has trouble on two fronts. Plus his illegal pardon that was given to him to begin with is still an issue in the Eric Holder Justice Department. Now, President Sarkozy of France also, just recently, at a meeting with Mr. Obama in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, brought this to his attention. Also brought to his attention that Iran does have nuclear weapons. It has, the control rods are now active in the nuclear power plants. And they do have the warheads necessary delivered to them by the Russians to launch nuclear weapons. So I'm just trying to give you people an idea of the lying that is going on by the American media, presenting to you the truth about what is real and what isn't. So what happens during this sequence of events dealing with Mark Rich is that Hillary Clinton, a Bush crime family employee, loser, and everything else that is negative you can think of.
Lesbian in the closet, killer, money launderer, drug dealer.
Vice President Joseph Biden communicates with Daddy Bush about the Mark Rich problem, along with Billy Boy, and they decide with some DA out here in California named Mike Cooley, and that something has to be done to protect Mark Rich. Eric Holder is in on this, the whole bunch. They decide they're going to grab this film director, Roman Polanski, and use him as blackmail for the purpose of not having effective law enforcement finally deal with Mark Rich. Now, Cooley, guess what, Stu? Guess who he is a direct colleague of and personal friend?
Mark Rich.
Former independent counsel during the Clinton period.
Kenny
Starr.
Cover-up Meister.
And who covered up the assassination of Vince Foster, which dealt directly with the attempt by then Vice President Albert Gore, Ambassador Leo Wanta, former FBI Director William Sessions, who, if you recall, folks, was sacked at the time that Foster was murdered, General Vernon Walters, and the late French President Francois Mitterrand. Who covered all this up? Well, none other than Kenneth W. Starr.
Matter of fact, they were trying to arrest Mark Rich.
Right.
Kenny Starr was the stooge.
Who is still subject to indictment and imprisonment for criminal conspiracy of the highest order. He currently is a law professor out here in California at Pepperdine University. As I speak tonight over this program, I urge the U.S. Marshals to go out and give Mr. Starr a visit tomorrow and ask him what he's doing, interfering in the attempt by lawful European law enforcement officials to arrest this guy Rich.
Now, let's mention for a minute about Starr's background. AIG, American Insurance General. AIG, the one that everybody's bailing out. The thieves. Hank Greenberg. He had to leave AIG about 4 years ago when the former Attorney General, former Governor of New York, Spitzer, was going to indict him. Instead, he sued him for RICO. So he had to leave the board of directors and his directorship and CEO of AIG. What does he do? He becomes CEO of Starr Companies, or Starr Inc. That was Kenny Starr's dad, former criminal in action CIA boy. That was his company. Starr doesn't come from anything clean. Starr comes from filthy, dirty background. It's always these generational pigs out to loot the country and destroy America and its way of life and make us a banana republic for their New World satanic order, period.
I understand that, Stu, and I think you laid it out pretty clearly, but we see now why Sarkozy called Obama naive. Not only is Obama naive, Obama is not that naive, folks. He is a direct criminal conspirator and complete enabler of the Bush-Clinton crime family menace that continues to terrorize the American people. And he is prepared to use any means of any government institution to continue the terrorism, whether it be the Department of Homeland Security, creating fake terrorists with toy store weapons, and grabbing people that need to go to the bathroom and call them a terrorist.